Hey mathematicians, let's do your homework. Okay, so very similar to today's work, we have half the page where we have improper fractions and we need to change it to mixed number, and we have half a page where we need to change a mixed number to an improper fraction. I am going to only be modeling the multiplication and the division strategies. I know that there are strategies where you draw out the fancy one. You can totally do that. For the sake of time, I'm not going to model both strategies on this video though. So, starting with our improper fractions, we need to do what this problem tells us, which fractions tell us to divide. This says 12 divided by 5. So I put my 12 inside, not because it's the bigger number, but because it's the numerator. I put my 5 outside. I can also just skip count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, oh, too big. I can make 2 5s out of 12, and that is 10. We have a remainder of 2. If we're being very official, there should be a 0 right there. And I'm going to stop. Unlike decimals, I don't need to keep dividing until I have a remainder of 0. I am going to write my quotient, this 2, as my whole number. I am going to write a fraction. I personally just always start with the denominator because it's the exact same. And my numerator is going to be whatever the remainder is. So I know this one is a little confusing because there are two different 2's. So let's do another one. 13 divided by 2. If I have $1, I cannot buy something for $2. That's a no. If I have $13, I can buy 2, 4, 6, 8. Well, can't lift that finger. 10, 12. Ooh, 14's too big. 12, which is 6 2's. I subtract my 12, I have a remainder of 1. My quotient, my answer, is the whole number. 6 is my big number. I can make 6 whole groups. And I have 1 out of the 2 left over. So when you're doing these problems, if you're doing the division strategy, I expect to see a division problem. You can stop when you get a remainder. Then you're going to take your quotient, that's your whole number. Your remainder is your numerator, and you have the same denominator as the original fraction. Going down to these mixed numbers. Mixed numbers, we're going to use a multiplication strategy. Because what this really is 2 whole numbers. 1 plus 1 is 2. And an eighth. This denominator is eighths, so these wholes are actually 8 divided by 8. 8 divided by 8. So when you multiply 8 times 2, 8 times 2 is 16. What you're really saying is in these two fancy ones, I have 8 and 8, that's 16. But I also have to add this one. 16 plus 1 is 17 eighth size pieces. So I keep my same denominator. That's my mixed. That's not my mixed. That's changing my mixed number to an improper fraction. So without drawing the fancy ones, my strategy is denominator times whole number. 5 times 2 is 10 plus numerator. 10 plus 3 is 13. That's my new numerator, and I keep the exact same denominator. It was 5, it stays 5. Finish up that page, and you are good to go for tomorrow.